right now, as we come on the air, Israeli Defense Forces releasing this video you see of tanks in the Gaza territory, saying troops are still on the ground as they widen their assault aimed at eliminating Hamas.
And that's as Israel starts its new phase of its operation, releasing video of what it says are airstrikes on Hamas commanders and those underground tunnels. The Gaza skyline lighting up overnight with internet and phone service largely.
Greatest military in the world. You saw what we did. For 4 straight years, I kept America safe, I kept Israel safe, and I kept the world safe. The world was a safer place, a much safer place. Today, the world is blowing up all around, no matter where you look. If I were president, the attack on Israel would never, ever have happened. I think you believe that?
Citizen of Israel. Yesterday evening, additional forces entered into Gaza, into the evil forces. This is the second stage of the war, which our goals are very clear: to destroy the military and government ability of Hamas and return the abductees home. We decided to operate in the ground of Gaza, and in the cabinet of the war, in the general cabinet. We're ready to make sure the faith of the country, our soldiers know that the government and the people are standing behind them. I met our soldiers in the bases, in the south and the north. We have a wonderful army, wonderful soldiers, heroes, Jews and non-Jews, secular and non-secular, left and right. They're all united.
So as you can see, Israel finally officially confirmed that they started their ground operations. Now, from everything I've seen and experienced over the past 3 weeks, I would say that we're about 48 to 72 hours ahead of when the news is reporting things or when things are being officially confirmed. For example, I reported to you all like 2 nights ago that the ground operations in Gaza had already started. And it wasn't until like about an hour before I sat down to record this video that Israel finally confirmed this. So we're definitely ahead of what's being reported, and we're ahead of what's being officially confirmed on the ground. But I want to just take a moment to look at all of these ships that NATO is gathering in the area. Take a look at this. This is something of the likes we have never, ever seen before. They're gathering one of the largest fleets we have ever seen in the history of humankind, all for a little regional, a little war with Hamas. You have a country the size of New Jersey facing off against this strip of land. The Gaza Strip is a small strip of land. Yet NATO feels as if it is necessary to gather this large of a fleet. You didn't see this type of response to the war in Ukraine. What's really going on here? Now, don't get me wrong, I've been the main one telling you all that this has the potential to spill over into something big, but this big? What are they really preparing for? What do they really know? Because when I see them gathering all of these ships, this is not just to back up Israel in their fight against Hamas. This is not just to back up Israel just in case Hezbollah and Lebanon gets involved. This is something on a whole nother level. And I would think that at this point, as they continue to send even more ships, that this is not here. They're not going for defensive purposes. I don't feel like they're sending all of these ships for a what if scenario. What if this happens? What if that happens? I feel like they're sending these ships because it's already written in stone what's going to happen. They already know that this is going to spiral out into something big. And if you're our enemies, if you're enemies of NATO right now, if you're one of these countries that's against Israel, how do you think they feel when they're seeing all of these ships being gathered? What response do you expect from them? Because this isn't your everyday conflict. And this fleet that we have gathered out there is next level. I mean, it's overkill. So what are we really preparing for? Because it looks to me like this is not, oh, well, if Iran does this, just in case we have these ships out here. No, it looks like you're sending them to war. It looks like you're strategically placing them in position for all-out total warfare, if you ask me. But as all of these ships are gathering and as Israel begins the invasion into Gaza, I want all of you to keep in mind that there are still hundreds of hostages being held by Hamas in Gaza that have not been released yet. And looking at how heavily, looking at the amount of destruction in Gaza, the whole place is just ruins and rubble. Looking at how heavily they were bombing Gaza over the past couple of days, I don't see how, these hostages must be deep underground if they're still alive. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these hostages were killed in these airstrikes. But, there's been negotiations going on, but today, in the past couple of days, Hamas has been asking for something totally unreasonable. They're claiming they'll release all of these hostages, but first, Israel has to release all of their prisoners, all of their Hamas brothers, whatever they call them. They want Israel to release, I believe it was up to 9,000 or 10,000 members of Hamas, Hezbollah, and other organizations and militias. So in exchange for these 200 or so hostages that Hamas has, they want Israel to release thousands upon thousands of their allies and their soldiers to help Hamas, fight Israel. So of course that's not going to happen. Of course that's unreasonable. So over the next coming days, as we watch what's happening in Gaza, keep in mind, there's still hostages there. I don't know if they're alive or not at this point, but that's a very scary situation. And I'm honestly not very optimistic that we're going to get all of these hostages out of there at this point. There's also something else very concerning going on. As the tanks started rolling into Gaza, people in Israel started getting their doors kicked in. Not everyone, of course, but there was over 100 arrests in Israel over the past couple of days. Over 100 people were arrested for the things that they were posting on social media. Now, I have not seen all of these posts, so I don't know what they were posting. Israel claims that they were posting pro-Hamas stuff. I don't know if these people were making threats, because if they were, that's one thing. If you're making threats to do some crazy stuff in the time of war and you get arrested, it is what it is. But if these people were just speaking out against the war, I find it very concerning that, people are being arrested for things that they're posting on social media. That's not okay. I'm a firm believer in the freedom of speech, even when the speech is something that I don't like. And if there are people in Israel that want to speak out against this war, if there are people in Israel who are against what Israel is doing, they have every right to feel that way, and they should be able to express that. And I definitely don't think people should be getting arrested for having conflicting opinions online. And the reason I feel so strongly about that is because we're on the verge of stuff like that happening right here in America. Every day we're being censored. You know, every day people are getting kicked offline for having the wrong opinion, for not going along with the masses. I mean, right now, as my channel should be well over 100K, YouTube is deleting people from my channel. I am getting messages every day since I started covering this war that people are getting unsubscribed from my channel. People are not getting notifications. They are demonetizing half of my videos. So I understand how it feels to have, you know, the powers that be crack down on you for trying to express your opinion or trying to tell the truth or trying to show an opposing view. So I'm really against what's happening in Israel as far as these arrests go. Now, like I said, if it comes out and it turns out that these people were posting some type of threats and things like that, then I understand why they were arrested. You know, with what's going on over there, you can't be doing things like that. But if these people were simply just speaking out in a non-violent way without any threats of violence, then I really don't appreciate, not only do I not appreciate it, but I definitely don't approve of it. You know, that's something that I stand firmly against. But supposedly that's what's happening right now as we speak. But I'm going to continue monitoring the situation as this invasion plays out. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you're feeling generous, you could drop a super thanks, since half of my videos are being demonetized anyway. But as always, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all soon in the next video.